Schneider-Sickert. Thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us today and share some of your insights. You started your career at a well-known financial institution, namely Goldman Sachs, and now you're the managing director of LIQID, an innovative digital asset management service. Why did you change direction?
For me, it's less about changing direction. So I've actually, if I look back at my career, I've done both things. This is my third startup. So I've founded 3 companies. This is the third one. I've worked in financial services. I've been at board level in several media companies, and it's always been about the challenge. And I think, at this point in time, I think there's a lot of very exciting opportunities in the financial services sector. There's a lot of stuff that's wrong with the traditional financial services sector, and I think it's just a fascinating environment to be active in. And the nice thing about a startup, and this is something I said to students earlier as well, is the immediacy of the impact that you have. If you're a larger organization, the attraction is you've got the mass of the organization behind you, you've got the might of the organization behind you. You don't have any of that in a startup. But you decide to do something on Monday morning, you can start doing it on Monday afternoon. And that is something that, at this point in my career, I'm really enjoying.
Do you think that at some point digital asset advisors, so-called robo-advisors, might make human advisors redundant?
No, I don't think I make them redundant, because I think there are parts of the process that will always require the flexibility, the empathy, the emotional subtlety that I think only a human being is capable of. But I think you can take, if you look at the wealth management process, I think there's many, many stages of the process that you can take, and you can make them more efficient. You can remove a lot of unnecessary manual steps, and I think you can basically give human advisors the capacity to really focus on those areas where humans are best, and from a commercial point of view, just allow them to have a lot more customer interaction in an average day, because they're spending a lot less time doing other things that are not necessarily playing on those human strengths.
So how do customers react to this new and purely rational asset management?
Well, we were talking about it earlier, but I think German customers are always very careful with everything, and I think that's one of the challenges for any financial services startup. You have to think about how do you overcome the natural hesitance that that people have to try something new when it comes to their money. But I think my personal analysis is I think customers are ready for something different. Customers have been very badly treated by the financial services industry over many, many years, and I think they sort of welcome the opportunity to do something that is, how the investment process is done, I think, is secondary, but something that is transparent, something that is low cost, and something that puts them in control. Because I think one of the things that a digital internet-based financial services business does, it puts you in charge. It doesn't put you at the mercy of a sort of large, slightly opaque organization.
So what would you say is the key to asset management?
Well, the key to asset, that's a big question, the key to asset management. I think it's interesting. I think if you think about it from the customer point of view, what are the 3 or 4 things that matter to the customer? Big misconception, personally, I think, is that the only thing the customer wants to do is have the best performance in the peer group on a year-to-year basis. So I think that's a big decision you need to come to as a financial services business or like an asset management business. Do you want to be all about performance, or is performance one of the elements that is important to the service that you offer? My personal analysis is I think people care about more than performance. People care about transparency, people care about customer service, and I think people care about low costs, because that is one of the things that is for sure. I think your performance is always a little bit future-oriented, is always a little bit uncertain. The one thing are the costs you're definitely going to pay. So I think that's a factor people look at, and a factor people should look at.
Thank you. So my last question would be, how did you enjoy your experience at the WHU New Year's conference so far?
It was very impressive. I used to organize these things when I was at university in Oxford many, many years ago, and if we were here in terms of professionalism and slickness, you guys are up here. So it's very, very impressive. The speaker list, I couldn't go to any of the speakers yesterday, but the speaker list is very impressive, and I think well done. It's a very professional job. So
thank you very much for the interview.
Thank you.